Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Brains and Brawn, being Malik. Oh yeah. And before I go further, I'm using the term Malik. That's not a Rom Wills term. You have to attribute that to cousin T-Taw. Check out his channel. He talks about Malik because, he talks about in this space we get into that whole Pookie and Ray Ray thing, and he'll talk about the Malik is that guy between the Pookie and Ray Ray, and but one aspect of the Malik is a physical presence. So the Malik is that guy who I did a video a while ago called a genius bruiser. That's a TV trope. That guy who got the physical thing, but also very smart. Like Professor Hulk from the Avengers Endgame could be considered a genius bruiser, right? So I wanted to talk about that because apparently a video I did last week caused some people discomfort. Like, I give a fuck. I'm in the real world. Seriously. I'm in the real world. I talk about what's out there. And the reality is, it's never a case of just brains versus brawn. That's stupid to me. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. Ever since high school, I've known, even been that dude who was like very smart, but also could get down physically or get down in the gym. Starting in college, going beyond college at the next level. I've known dudes who, like, very well educated, they doctors now, professionals, attorneys now, very smart, but they could also throw down in the weight room or something, or they could get down on the ball court or the football field or wherever. If necessary, they could throw hands with everybody. I actually remember at this gym I worked at, there was a financial advisor there, high post. Beautiful wife, children. He pull up in a Mercedes. But that dude could box and throw up 400 pounds like it was nothing. Listen to what I'm saying. Like it was nothing. Yet sometimes there was one time I'm working at the gym. I'm going in the locker room to make sure it's clean and everything. He doing a business deal back there with somebody. He advising somebody's portfolio, But that's that Malik energy. And it's more normal because you get some cats. See, here's a problem. A lot of cats don't want to engage themselves physically. But the reality is, out here in this world, you need to be physical just to do shit. You can have just the brains and stuff. But then can you impose your will on somebody else physically? Can you move through the world physically? Because it's more than just the brawn stuff. Shit. And the brawn don't necessarily mean you a big muscular dude, but just have your body tight. Shit. Bruce Lee. You could say Bruce Lee was a dude on the brawn side, but he was also highly intelligent. And see, it's not a split there. See, sometimes when people try to get a split, they try to say, well, in fact, that has some racist connotations, because I remember back in the late 80s when it was a big deal. Well, one of the times it was a big deal about how good black men were in sports. And I actually had a couple white guys say, well, that means we're smarter then. I'm like, who says you can't be both? That's the crazy thing about it. It's like, if you look at my book, Nice Guys and Players. Nice guys and players, not nice guys versus players. Anybody who's actually read the book will see I'm telling you to develop yourself on all areas. Anybody who's read it know I don't really get that much game. I don't tell you any tricks or anything. I say develop your physical side, but then the part that a lot of people don't talk about, I'm talking about developing your mental side as well. In fact, one commenter thought that was an issue. Well, he just said read some books. Well, damn right. That's why, if you go to my Deep Thought channel or the cover for it, shoot, I got some of my deeper books there. I've given away some books. Or either sold them or given them away, or sometimes I just get them from the library. But it's about being both. It's about being developed on all levels. That's that Malik energy. Like that whole Pookie and Ray Ray versus Carlton, as Brother T-Taw would call him. I'm like, who says that has to be the case? Now, on my car video yesterday, I talked about I was at a function this past Saturday. It's a upper class function. And I was noting the brothers in there. None of them look weak. None of them didn't. I would tell you, some of them look rough. some of them look rough. Not in a like just a physical appearance way, but look like they ain't gonna take any shit off anybody. And shoot, a lot of them look like if I started talking about lifting or something, that would have been a great conversation. These brothers were buffed in a motherfucker. Couple of them were. Rest of them were just in decent shape. It was only maybe some older ones who weren't. And even some of the older ones who were probably in their 50s and 60s at this joint, they were still in great shape. Because, it's funny. People try to split the two, but if you go to some high-end gyms, you will find like CEOs. The guys who like running this country. And just to be clear, this is across races. They in there throwing up 300 pounds. They in there throwing up 300 pounds. There'd be guys in their 60s and stuff working out. If you look at most of these CEOs of these companies out here, boom, they got both. In fact, if we, like I mentioned upper class, I mentioned the black upper class. If you mention the overall upper class, like some of these families be going to these prep schools, at these prep schools, it's required that they play a sport too. Because they understand it's now you can't separate the education or the knowledge they get and the intelligence they getting from their body. And that's always been the thing. So it's crazy you get somebody who will try to say, well, let's take this over the other. No, it's always about a balance. That's the ultimate goal. And even if you talk about like, if you even break it down to like, you get one side more wilder in their behavior or the other one less controlled, really, in this world, you still got to be that type of, I don't care where you at, especially as a man, because I got a podcast coming about defending yourself as a man. You got to be able to physically defend yourself. I mean, you don't have to hit the gym like that, but every single man need to be in decent shape, just as a general thing. I don't care what your size is, whatever. You need to be able to at least pick up. I'm going to tell you what. You need to at least be able to pick up a reasonable sized human being, even if for a short period. Because you might have to body slam that human being. And plus, since we mostly talk about relationships on here, because, if I'm going to talk about business or something else, I'm going to talk about it on my other channels. Shoot, we talking about how to deal with women. Women, shoot, if you pick that woman up, shoot, everything get wet. The waters start to flow. But, it's all about that. And I've been preaching that for like 20 years. But, you get somebody, they hear me say body game, and they think they try to focus on it because they don't want to work on their bodies. That's really all it is. And they trying to like, I don't know. I don't see it. Sometimes people too in their heads, and really the thing turning on a woman anyway is your physicality. The thing that might keep the woman is how smart you are. If that just keeps it, but if she don't come over there to begin with, what's the point? So, that my thing has always been being that Malik. Always. And I've been preaching that shit for 20 years. I got dudes who been following that exact same thing. Dudes can get down with you intellectually, talk politics, talk religion, theology, engineering. But also, they either get in that ring, could kick your ass, or they can get in the weight room, throw up some, or get on the ball field and hang. That's always been my philosophy. And that's always about it. So, and I'm just making that clear for anybody who needs to hear that. It's brains and everything. Brains and brawn. Nothing wrong with that. Should be normal. Shoot, if we lived in an indigenous culture, you wouldn't even have a specialization because everybody was expected to hunt. Everybody was expected to kill in a war. And that's really what it is for the man. Y'all know I also talk about the house of the man. The house of the man is the warrior. That's the one who can defend. The healer, that's the one that can make love to a woman. The eagle, that's the intellect. That can see ahead. And then the hunter, that's a smooth, cold-blooded killer because nothing lives unless something dies. So, being Malik, brains and brawn. Psh, that's Rom's platform. That's what I promote. That's where I must say men need to get. And anybody, if you don't want to roll with that, you don't have to roll with me. I'm good with it. It's all about being a wolf, about being at apex. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and many blessings.